Welcome to the South Australian Tourism Awards workshop. Thank you all for coming along and showing interest in the Tourism Awards. My name's Ward Tilbrook. I'm the Chief Executive for the SA Tourism Industry Council. I won't do a long spiel on your wise decision to consider entering the Tourism Awards. That's Steve and Kim's job from Getaways SA, Tour Barossa. But I just wanted to let you know that the awards it's been going for 30 years, and it's run by the Industry Council, so it's for industry by industry, and they've had many successful years of operating the awards. They're obviously very important for your own business. They're a great gong, a great recognition, a lot of consumer confidence involved with awards, and also from a state perspective, it's obviously great for the state tourism if we have a really strong showing at the Tourism Awards and we have a really strong showing at Nationals, and we've got some successful national award winners today. So it's not only is it good for your business, it's good for our tourism industry as a whole. So I thank you for your interest. For those of you that don't know about the Tourism Industry Council, well, we are a membership-based, not-for-profit industry association. So the awards are for industry by industry, and your involvement with the awards strengthens the association as well. We have, as part of the process, you'll have a site visit, you have your written submission, and but I suppose, and what Steve will also demonstrate to you is, like anything, the value of winning a gong, like the win or a gold, silver or bronze medal, has to do with how much effort you put into promoting your business and how effective you are at promoting yourselves. Because like anything, it's a modest investment financially, it's a significant investment in time and effort, but the value that it adds to your business is really invaluable. So the way today will run is that we'll have Steve will come up and talk about what Tourism Awards has done for his business and his business as a whole generally, and his approach to business. And then Anneliese will come up and we'll workshop the whole thing, so help you through it and myth bust and answer any questions that you might have. So thank you for your involvement with the Tourism Awards. Thank you for coming along today. And Steve, I'll hand it over to Steve Brown from Getaways SA. Do you want to borrow my jacket so you can have a lapel pin? Put on your collar? Where can you just hold it?
Thanks, Ward. Can you hear me okay? Okay, thanks everyone for coming along. What I'm going to do is give you a little bit of the history about our business and where we've come from. Why did we decide to enter the awards? What are the main benefits of going through the entry process? What the award has meant for our business? Why would we encourage others to enter, and why? Basically who we are and a few tips for first-time entrants. And on the front cover there you can see we have won a few awards. Up the top you can see Getaways SA. We've actually been very successful with Tour Barossa. We've won 4 consecutive state tourism awards and an Australian tourism award, and we've outgrown Tour Barossa because we're also Tour McLaren Vale, Tour Clare, Tour KI, Tour Australia, Tour Riverland. We just about tour everything. So it's meant a lot to us, the awards, and also, as you can see, the certification process of being Advanced Ecotourism certified and tourism accredited. Bit about us. Our family's up there in the centre. We've got 3 boys. We foster them. They're with us until they're 18 years old, so they're with us forever. So they're effectively our children as far as we're concerned. We're giving some children in need of a future, a bit of a bright future, we like to think, and that's one of our key passions. Josh, Jake and William are obviously very integral to our business and what we do, and love cleaning our vehicles. We've got 10 tour vehicles, a dozen properties in the Barossa Valley and one down at Glenelg, and we also own Getaways Reservation Service, our booking centre. During today's presentation, you will see our motto: we do what we love and we love what we do, and you will too. And you can feel free to use that. I'll let you. Tour Barossa, how we got started. In 1991, we honeymooned in Tasmania, pre-kids, and we fell in love with the concept of having a little cottage to ourselves, a self-catering property. We always wanted to have our own business, and we used to dabble in antiques in about '89. And we started our first property in '95 with sort of one room in our property. And we loved doing that on a bit of an ad hoc basis. We grew. In 1999, we still only had one property, but we won our first South Australian Tourism Award. That was amazing to win that. And it was for a category that no longer exists, superior accommodation. In 2000, we won the South Australian Tourism People's Choice Award, that hopefully comes back, but doesn't exist at the moment, which is people voting for your services, which is fantastic. And in 2001, we won the Australian Tourism Award for hosted accommodation for the properties we had. We had, I think, 3 at that time. In 2001, because we were so busy after we won the Australian Tourism Awards, we started Getaways Reservation Service. Success story in itself. We've been inducted in the Hall of Fame twice, in 2006, had 2007 off, and then were inducted again in 2011 for 3 consecutive wins again. In 2008, we started Tour Barossa, our touring arm, and that was a result of not being able to get 2 guests on a tour, because other operators wouldn't operate with minimum numbers. They wanted 4 people before they'd operate. Well, we see it as bigger picture stuff. So there's lots of people that come with their partners and wives and husbands that want to go on tour and experience our wonderful regions, and they couldn't do it. So instead of telling people how to operate, we thought we'd get a little bus and start ourselves. So we've been inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2013 for 3 consecutive wins, and we've now had 4 consecutive wins with Tour Barossa. In all, since 1999, we've received 45 awards, including 2 Australian Tourism Awards, 3 Hall of Fame inductions, and 2 Telstra Business Awards with our 3 tourism businesses. How have we got to where we are? We have a clear focus and vision. Remember, don't be everything to everyone and excel at what you do best. We sort of say that, but a bit of tongue in cheek because we do a few things as well. Have an awesome team and trust your awesome team. They're your biggest asset. Ensure you're sustainable, professional, ethical and reliable. That's where your tourism accreditation, ecotourism certification comes in, and people do listen and pay attention to that. Know who your customers are. Clear target markets. If you don't know what target markets are, who are your people coming to stay at your property, do your tours, jump on your sedgeways, whatever, that's your target market. If you're getting them already, that's your target market. We do quarterly competitor analysis and undercover boss. Undercover boss is with our buses that Kim will jump on a tour, won't tell the driver either, our tour guides, go out for half a day before she lets everyone know on board that we actually own the business. Just by chatting to them, you learn a lot about your business and their perceptions. Excellent service. Be the best. We have feedback forms that we give to all our clients. We get 95% return on feedback forms. People that we've told are absolutely blown away at that amount, 95%, but we keep it pretty simple. Questioning, we don't force people to do it, but we get all of them back, and it's fantastic feedback, and we've actually adjusted our business practices to our target markets that are travelling with us at that time. TripAdvisor, fantastic way, and we've got a great review on TripAdvisor. We've got lots of them. You're welcome to have a look, and that's what it's all about, because that's from a third party. A lot of the time you don't know who it is, because it could be Annabelle 66 and you don't know who she is, but they're giving honest feedback on their service, which is fantastic. Network, business connections with other businesses, evolve and changing to current economic situations. So when things happen like the GFC, you could just sit down and cry, but instead look at how you can adjust. How can you attract more people to come to you? What can you do about it? Be bold, be brave, be different. Why did we decide to enter the Tourism Awards? Since 1999, why have we entered just about every single year? Well, pretty simple. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. So we put ourselves out there. We haven't won every year, but we sure give it a crack, and we take it as an inspiration if we don't succeed. It's the best way to self-assess your business. When you actually fill out the questions, there's going to be issues and questions that are in the Tourism Award submission that you go, I've never thought of that. That's what it's about, because you will think about it. Great way to self-assess. It's fantastic for your team morale. We take our team to the awards night, and it is a fantastic night. As I said, we don't always win, but this spurs us on and our team to improve and keep evolving. What do we see as our main benefits of going through the whole entry process? Well, obviously the self-assessment is massive. You may find that answering the questions identifies areas or an issue you haven't previously considered. If you're not tourism accredited, after the award submission, you'll be well on your way. We keep entering as it is our self-improvement tool and the benefits our business immensely. What has the award meant for us and our business? Well, we promote every award success. It is the credibility the awards bring to your business that make it stand out. 80% of our guests say they chose us because of the awards we have received. Yes, it's that important. So people see awards on your website or on your brochure and they see another website that hasn't got them or a brochure that hasn't got them, who are you going to choose? It's a credibility factor and the continued growth for our business. Will we encourage others to enter and why? Yep, absolutely. And yes again, it's fantastic. However, please don't enter in our category. We all as tourism operators need to strive to do the best we can for ourselves, our team that we employ, and for South Australia, to stand on our own 2 feet and be recognised. Our business has grown from 1-room B&B in 1999 to now 13 properties, 10 tour vehicles, and South Australia's most successful reservation service, and a team of 30. All directly attributed to the Tourism Awards. I direct everything we've done to the Tourism Awards. They're that important to our business. Following our win in 2014, our revenue increased by 51% in the preceding 6 months. Now, if you're going to increase your revenue by 51%, I don't know any business owner that wouldn't be happy with that. And that's continued to trend. This is just some of the awards we've won. That is not all of them, but as you can see, it's pretty significant. We've had fantastic media exposure from the awards. It doesn't just happen. You have to do things yourself. You have to promote yourself. You know, people aren't going to run your business for you. You have to do it and get out there. We won the Australian Tourism Award. They contacted us and said, do you mind if we put you up somewhere in Sydney Airport? We were actually willing to fly over there and take a photo because we thought it was in the lounge or something like that. They said, actually it's in the main entry to the Sydney Airport. So we were pretty happy with that. They took a photo for us and sent it over. And our boys were pretty excited that we were up there. Once again, TripAdvisor. Some of you may have received this before, but if you haven't, try hard because it's gold for your business. 2014 and 2015 winner of Award of Excellence. Our success, we've expanded our team to over 30 people. We service over 55,000 customers per year. We generate about $2.5 million back into our community. We've now expanded for Tour Adelaide, Tour Adelaide Hills, McLaren Vale, Tour Clare, KI and Tour Australia. We are rebranding instead of just being Tour Barossa to Getaways SA. And so far that's been really successful. Other things we've done, we've sponsored the Barossa Air Show, which is our region. We're doing the CEO Sleep Out to raise some money for some less fortunate people than us. So if you want to donate, let us know, and please donate to me because I need all the help I can get because Kim's crushing me at the moment. Hints on what you can do to be the best in tourism. Be truly passionate about what you do. Surround yourself with awesome, dynamic people. If you don't think you know awesome, dynamic people, you do, that's your team, guaranteed. Network with like-minded people. Always strive for 150%. Don't settle for 90%. Go for more than you can give. Know what your customer really wants. Listen to them, and if they keep telling you they want a certain widget in your property or on your tour, if they want it, give it to them. Never rest on your laurels. Be flexible to reinvent yourself. We're always reinventing ourselves. We're in tourism. So That's what it's about, to keep our clients happy. Do what you love and love what you do. In our eyes, the golden customer experience must be knowledgeable, genuinely interested in your client's needs, genuinely care about the outcome or experience, be passionate, be accessible and prompt, be honest and transparent. No surprises, no mistakes for people. And showmanship. Give them a good time. We took all these boxes and we like keeping our people. Keep them coming back. Returning guests are absolute gold for us. Do you have any tips for first-time entrants? Is there any first-time entrants here that haven't gone through the award process yet? Welcome to my world. Once you're in, you can't get out. I remember the feedback from our first award in 1999. The judges' comments were, we were taken with the passion shown in the entry. So when you do your entry, make sure that the passion you've got for your business comes through. Which back then, coincidentally, was a 30-page submission and 30 pages of supporting documentation. So you walked into SATC at the time with boxes of stuff. Your submission and all your supporting documentation. It was, yeah, amazing. And I encourage you to go for it. It will only benefit your business. Stand out from the crowd, be creative. We embody fun. That is red wine we're throwing there. We do what we love and love what we do, and you will too. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we get to the nuts and bolts of the Tourism Awards program, like the process and what actually goes on. So we're part of the national program as well. So all the winners go on to enter as a finalist in the National Tourism Awards. And so people wonder, you know, why do I want to enter? Just going on from what Steve has said, you know, you can be recognised and raise your reputation within the tourism industry, not only in South Australia, but in Australia as a whole. You never know where the links may come together just by entering and networking with other entrants, and the gala dinner at the end of the year as well is also a great opportunity for the tourism industry operators and finalists to come together. We're having that on the 13th of November and this year, and it's at the Convention Centre, and yeah, it's a great opportunity for everyone together. We get about 600 people. It's really good opportunity to look at your business, look on your business instead of being in it. People are so busy trying to, you know, keep their business going and reactive and to things. So the planning and the organising of the Tourism Awards program, that you have to answer these questions, really makes you look at your business as a whole, I guess. You can benchmark against your competitors and see how you're going. You can also, you know, with the feedback that you get from judges, there might be some ideas that they give you. And these are from, the judging panel is compiled of industry leaders or past industry operators that have been involved in the tourism industry for quite some time. We've got past Hall of Fame winners in there, as well as tourism experts. So yeah, their advice is sometimes invaluable, and you can they look outside the square, I guess, for you. It's a good way, as Steve was saying as well, about involving your team and staff, giving them little jobs for it, and it also just brings you together at the end of the year to celebrate at the dinner. We also, you know, you can review what you've done well in the year, because we look at the qualifying period from July last year to June this year. So you can look at what you've done and write it down on paper and just go, oh, wow, we have done a lot. Or maybe there's sections where maybe you haven't looked at for quite some time, and then you think, well, we need to get that on the agenda. You know, you can really look at, when we say benchmarking, I guess, when you're in your category, you can also look at other people and what they're doing, good comparisons and benchmarks. So, good thing to think about. So, some important dates for this year. Nominations are due on the 30th of June. We did have them a bit earlier, but we've decided to extend it. So, 30th of June is coming up very, very shortly. We'll do site inspections. As soon as nominations are in, we'll get the judging panel out and going to visit the nominees. And depending on what your business is and what a category you've entered is what they'll be experiencing. So if you're a restaurant, then they'll come and experience your restaurant, dining at your restaurant. Or if you're an accommodation place, then they'll need to come and stay overnight. And that is part of entering is that is complimentary. But it's all about getting a good view of what you're all getting the experience, I guess, because not only, although we put the submission as a greater emphasis at 70%, we also give the site visit worth 30%, which as opposed to all the other states and territories, where we put quite a considerable amount into the site visit, because we understand that the experience is worth a lot. So we'll have another awards info workshop, and that will be on the 8th of July, and that's going to be more in depth. We'll get some experienced speakers on each of the questions that will go into detail about what you should be looking at in each of the questions. I'll go through a bit of it today, but yeah, the 8th of July is really good if you can pop along to that. I haven't sent out invites yet, but we will be doing that soon. Submissions are then due on the 24th of August, and that's when you upload your submission online, and then you also give us 10 images that we can use for media purposes. And we just have a bit of a business profile that we need you to fill in as well, which is new for this year. Just gives the judges a better idea of if you've got a big business or a real small one, and to judge accordingly. Then, so judging goes from August to September. Then we have the awards ceremony and dinner on the 13th of November. So once that's done, all their finalists, bar 3 categories, which is tourism, education, local government and the backpacker accommodation, they are state-only categories, but the rest all go in as finalists to the National Tourism Awards. And the winners for that will be announced at the gala dinner in February next year in Melbourne. So that'll be good. So yeah, getting down to the categories, we've got 29 business categories for you to choose from. You know, we've got attractions, festivals and events, ecotourism, cultural. We've got specialised tourism services, tour and transport operators, and then all the accommodation. New tourism businesses. If you have a new tourism business that started after July last year, 1st of July last year, and before, you know, now, then you could enter a new tourism business. Then we also have 2 individual awards, which is Outstanding Contribution by an Individual in the Tourism Industry and the South Australian Tourism Student of the Year, which is an initiative brought with Scale Adelaide, and they actually provide a international exchange program for the student to go to New Zealand, and it's a good opportunity, and we see some real growth in that. So there has been some changes from last year. So it's really important that you get the category questions from this year and not to refer to any beforehand, because category names and descriptors have changed, and the wording has really changed. So yeah, it's worth looking at the categories and questions from this year. We have a new category called self-contained accommodation. So if you have an accommodation that is self-contained, that's the one for you. Some people have gone into deluxe. We're really aiming to get that for hotels, and self-contained is going to be a great one. We've already got lots of nominees for that. And as I said again, the state-only awarded categories are training and education, local government, and backpacker. So we do have some rules for entry. That's in the nominees kit. It's not scary. It's just a few things to think of and to keep on track. When you do your submission, there are some formatting rules that you need to adhere to, and this is mainly because the judges have to read maybe 40 submissions, so there needs to be some consistency, like they don't want to see 0.8 font size. Reading that is just too sore. So we say size 12 and a certain font like Calibri or Times New Roman. That's all in there. We just need a title page, and you know, you must, in your first question, you really must clearly demonstrate your eligibility in that category. We usually do look through. If you're not sure about your category, then let me know and we can discuss what category you think you'd best suit, and we can go from there, and I can talk to the chair of judges as well. So yeah, there's just a few rules like that. I've got some old submissions that are award-winning from a few years ago that you're welcome to meet with me and go through with them, so you can see a bit about what they're like and how to set out. There are some penalty points if you don't adhere to some of the formatting rules. It's not many, so don't get scared, but there are just some. So it's really worth looking through rules for entry and following the guidelines. We do have site inspections, as I was saying before, so they're worth 30% of your overall score. And basically they're there to assess the business and verify claims made within the submission, but also about the site inspection experience, about what you offer. They have a site visit form that the judges have to adhere to when they're going, so they'll ask you some questions, and that's just because of the site visit form that they have to go by. There are some categories that are exempt from the site visits because they don't, like destination marketing and local government in tourism. There are site visits for verification purposes only for major festivals and events, specialised tourism services and new tourism business. There is you do get to see the site visit form in the nominees kit, so you're not, you don't know. We're open with what the judges are looking for, so that's not up on the site yet, but it will be very soon. So yeah, the judges try to be totally transparent with what they're asking before you get there. And what they usually do is contact you when they get their assignments for the nominees, then they'll contact you and just sort of say, I'll be your judge for the Tourism Awards, and when can I come and see you? And they'll give you a few dates. And because they're usually going to a region, they've got other site visits that they want to try to incorporate while they're there for a few days, so that they might give you a few dates, and that's because they're trying to fit it in a schedule. Tips for site visits. So some do's and don'ts. Do give clear directions for where they have to go. Treat the judge like a guest to your property and give them a chance to experience your product. Make sure you're available to have a chat with them, because they'll probably have a few questions that they want to ask you as well. And be enthusiastic and make sure your website is current as well. With the don'ts, try not to change the times and dates at short notice, because they are going to see other people in your region as well. And don't ask the judge for feedback on your competitors, because they won't be able to give that to you. But yeah, judges are looking for financially well-managed, sound businesses. They're looking for your industry knowledge, and that you have a passion for what you do. This is in your submission. Be enthusiastic. Have a sense of your own flair about what your business and your own personalities shine through, I guess. That they're really looking for something to stand out, and that you know what you're talking about, and that you are, aware of your marketplace, basically. They're also looking for measurable goals and outcomes, measurable items. You need to back up your statements that you make throughout your submission. Don't make motherhood statements, statements that are just out there. You need to back them up. I've seen that time and time again at state and nationals, and it's really important that you have measurable outcomes. So with the scoring, judges score well for succinct answers that make sense, that have a measurement tool behind it. A story. People want to hear a story. So your own personal ideas about how your business is going. Testimonials from your customers and clients, that's really important, and that's a measurable outcome. Photos as well is really ideal. A good photo can tell 1,000 words, and caption your photos as well. That's what a lot of people don't do. They put photos in, but they don't caption them, and so the judge could be looking at these and, what's this all about? How does that fit into the question? So it's really a good idea to do that. The other thing that I've seen some people try and do is, with the formatting of their submission, they'll put in newspaper format, like columns, because it might fit in more words, but that's actually one of in the rules for entry, that's a no. You'll get a penalty point for that. So no newspaper columns, because that's really hard for the judges to read, basically, as well. Try not to waffle on. You can sometimes be repetitive in your answers within the same section, and just be succinct and direct with your answers, and give the backup statements. Yes?
Should we include actually embodied in the document attachments like statements of support, that sort of thing, or should they be separate? Is there room to put in your submission and attachment A, B, C, or does it all have to be in
No.
one document?
The question was if we can use attachments for within the submission. No, there's no attachments. You can include the quote or within the question, but unfortunately you can't use attachments. So yeah, that's what the judges are really looking for. Something that stands out, you know, pictures and your passion and your testimonials and measurable outcomes, you'll be great. Planning your submission is really just as important, just to get it started, because you have this time until the 24th of August to get this up, and sometimes when you're starting it, it can be really overwhelming because you see all your questions there, but it's really not once you get started. You know, decide who's going to do what. If you've got a small team and you all want to, you know, put it in together, then maybe delegate out each question and maybe have a main person that looks it over, or if you do it, get someone else to have a look at it after. That's really helpful. You know, how will you, I guess, plan how you're going to answer each question. I've got this little diagram that I did that will probably make it a bit better. Read the question first, identify key areas, brainstorm responses. What I sometimes recommend is get your butcher paper out and put each question up on a wall with blank, you know, put the question up, blank piece of paper, then start writing your dot points on, yes, well, we do this, and then you can expand out on that. So brainstorm your responses with your team, and then brainstorm again. Have a break, you know, just have a break and then come back to it, and then start arranging your ideas in a document format. And then by that time you might have your draft already done, and definitely leave enough time that you can go back to it and sleep on it and then come back with fresh eyes, and that's why it's really good for someone else to look at it. Someone separate, that they've got the questions and they can just look over it, even if it's just to proofread and find your spelling errors or anything like that. Sometimes people, if they have a mentor, give them to review it. So we have a nominees kit. Once you nominate, we don't just leave you in the lurch. We've got a great nominees kit online on the SATIC website. I've done up a submission guidebook that actually goes through each of the questions. Like I've got a category, and you know, it looks at each of the questions, and then I sort of suggest things that you can talk about. Give examples, table formats with the business planning, which we'll get onto later. There's some table formats that you can use. There's some hints and tips from the judges online, so that will be really good to have a look at and get an idea, because some of them have been to nationals, so they can give you some insight there. There is also last year's awards workshop online, the one that we're going to do again on the 8th of July, so that's good. There's some important information. One thing it would be good for you to look at is your regional profile. When you're looking at your target markets, you really got to know your demographics and your psychographics and things like that of your target market. So one thing I suggest is regional tourism profiles, which can be found on the SATC industry corporate site. We've got some direct links on our nominees kit, so go on there first, but I find them really handy for your particular region. They'll really help you with figures and measurable outcomes. So yeah, have a look at that. And there's also quick links to the South Australian Tourism Plan, because you can actually talk about how your business is actually linking to the state tourism plan, and perhaps even the Tourism Australia plan. That's really good and will sort of make sense to the judges as to where you're at with it. We also have an awards consultants list. So if you're thinking it's a bit overwhelming and I want some professional help, there is some submission writers and design help that is available. We've suggested some good people that you can get in contact and talk to them about it. There is also a submission review service this year. We've got a ex-National Tourism Awards judge to proofread and to review your submission at a cost, and she'll give you feedback before handling your submission on the 24th of August. There's also a proofreading service as well. That's all optional, don't have to. I'm always open to, if you need me to have any questions for me, I'm always on the phone or on the email as well. So don't think that you're alone doing all this, especially for first timers. It can be a bit overwhelming, but it's also exciting. So I'm here to hold your hand as well. So we'll just go through the questions. I'm not going to read through all the dot points. This slide shows actually on the nominees kit as well that you can print off later and have a read through. But I thought I'd just go through a few of the questions. So we've got question 1, it's all about tourism excellence. So it's basically, first one is starting as, demonstrate your eligibility for this category as related to the descriptor above. Provide a brief overview on the nature and history of your business. So just ensure that you show how you meet the criteria in the descriptor for the category question. Make sure you include a really good photo of your product so the judges can see right there who you are and what you do that really depicts it, and that can be on the title page as well. Who's involved in your product or business, who works there, be consistent about that, and really good thing is to include a map of location, so where you are in relation to Adelaide, and include the kilometres even. This is helpful, especially if you get into nationals. The national judges are not going to know, every business in Australia, so it'll give them a really good idea of where you are. History, a brief outline of your history would be great. That gives you a good feel for your business, and you can really stamp your passion about your business in this spot. So there's 4 parts to this question, and the next one is about detailing your tourism products, experiences and services. But just be mindful, in the back of your mind, it's all about tourism. So focus on tourism when you're doing tourism in your business. Think about all the activities that your customers and guests participate in. And, use headings, use testimonials, things like that to show what you do. So the next one is about describing your commitment to tourism excellence. Give us a background of your philosophy and commitment. What are your values? What makes you stand out from the crowd? So have you participated in any awards or anything like that? Have you been recognised? Are you accredited? And it could be good to have the logos of these things up there as well. Tourism excellence, with the part D is about your involvement in the tourism industry. So how are you involved at a local level, at a regional level, at a national, like state and national level? You can separate them and say, you're involved in committees, or you sponsor things. Maybe, you you get students in or something like that. Participation in for meals and trade shows, sponsorship, maybe you're members of associations like SATIC. So that's question 1 done. Question 2 is business planning. So with business planning, it's an overview of your business plan goals, strategies and outcomes. And this is where measurable outcomes and plans come into play. Start off this question with your mission statements or vision statements. Then, consider using column tables with, SMART goals, and do have measurable outcomes. This is an example of a table that you can use. So, you've got your goal there, what your goal was. It's usually a good idea to have about 6 goals in there so goals that you've wanted to achieve from June last year to June this year. July this year, last year to June this year. And so you have your goal, your strategy. So what strategies did you have to achieve the goal? And then the outcome. What did you actually do? And if you didn't achieve your outcome, then that's fine. Just say why. What happened? They're not going to, judge you down on that. It's just they want to know why. This is another way of doing the table, and of course this will be available to you for you to use or not, or give you ideas after as well.
So Anneliese, is it advisable not to put your full business plan in, just specifically major?
Yeah, just make it related to the tourism part of your...
So you wouldn't put operational in?
Oh no, sorry, yes, you would. You would put like some people use, what if your chief executive got sick? What's a risk management there? It's sort of that sort of thing. You could put an example of each, usually some from HR, some from visitor numbers or nights stay or tickets sold or whatever. Guests that come to your market or anything like that. With the question 2, part B, there's 2 parts to this question, so make sure you read it a couple of times, because they ask you to describe any innovations that have taken place during the qualifying period to improve your tourism business, and demonstrate how these innovations have enhanced your tourism experiences or services. And it could be something really simple. The innovations could be something really simple, or it could have, or it could be really big. It doesn't have to be large or anything. It's just something that's made a difference to you guys to work better, and it'd be great to know about it. What investment has been made in staff training and development, and how has this improved the experiences or services? So you could use an example here of what you've done and what you did to go through that, what the benefits were for your business as well as the staff. The next one is describe the main risks of your tourism business and the risk mitigation measures you have implemented. So you could, some people, I've got a table here, some people use about maybe 6 or so examples, depending on how big your business is, I guess. It could be visitor and staff safety, chief executive is sick? What about if your computers die? And that's where all your booking service comes through. How do you get that out? Equipment, maybe the tour buses are out of order. What happens then? So use the table to demonstrate this. This is quite useful. There's an example here. So we've got a risk ranking of how significant it is, the impact, and then what you do to mitigate it. Question 3, we're on to innovative marketing. So this is where we want to know all about your target markets. Pie charts or graphs are recommended here because that'll give a good idea for the judges to know what your target markets are. I've got a diagram down here. These people have used the last 2 years. You can do a comparative. Depends on how much information you've got. So who do you aim your marketing towards? And this is what I was saying would be really helpful in our nominees kit. We've got links to the regional tourism plans and profiles. That'll really help you in your target markets here. So there's information, a wealth of information that you can use. The demographics, judges always say they just want more detail on who your target markets are. Some people try to wish-wash over it, and it doesn't really give them tell them that you have a good understanding of your target markets. So that's why it's helpful with those tourism profiles to get a good idea. Psychographics, they really want more detail about their personal interests and lifestyles, what they're interested in, and how you reach out to them. So with part B, it's how do you know your product or service will meet the needs of your target markets? So what research did you do? Detail all that stuff and what your outcomes were. How did you determine your product is suited to your target market and that these are the target markets you would be most interested in? So yeah, there's lots of information in there about how to best answer this one. Then we've got an example of a table that you could use, and this is in the submission guidebook as well. We've got part C, which is what are your unique selling points, and demonstrate how you communicate these to your target markets. So again, this is a 2-part question. Make sure some people forget about the 2 parts and they just answer one part of the question and they lose points for not answering the second part. So make sure you read your questions a couple of times. Consider presenting this as a competitor analysis, a SWOT analysis. What makes you better than the rest? What sets you apart, I guess, would be great. And how do you communicate this to your target markets? That's really interesting to know and gives them a good idea about your broad knowledge. The next one is describe your innovative marketing strategies that you have implemented to encourage new and repeat business and demonstrate the success of those initiatives. So what marketing strategies do you use in attracting your target markets? Like innovations that you've done throughout the year, think of those, how you can incorporate that. It'd be great to see some photos or some newspaper advertising that you've done. Maybe you've put some advertisements in the paper or in magazines or whatever. That'd be great to see. And if you can give us an example of a successful marketing strategy, and then what were the measurable results from that? Did you get anything from that? The judges would love to know what successes you've had. And if you've had failures, then just sort of tell us that and why. Describe your customer service philosophy and values. So with this one, what's your customer service? How do you treat that in your business? Basically, yeah, we want to know your philosophy on this. How do you understand their needs? Do you survey them? How do you welcome them? Do you keep in contact with them? What else do you do with them once they've finished? Can you give us an example of an exceptional customer service that you gave out, and what did they tell you? What sort of feedback did they give you? You could use testimonials in here for this, would be perfect. Do you train your staff? What sort of training do you give them? It'd be great to know if you're accredited as well. That'll really, if you put your logo in there, your accreditation logo, that'd be great. So the next one is about how do you provide your for visitors with specific needs. So what are your customer specific needs? How do you capture that? Is that on time of booking? What do you ask them? I guess that's what we're really trying to get detail out of that. And who are your target markets? Like, refer to that when you're thinking of your target markets. Do you treat each of your target markets differently? The specific needs could include things like families, if they have a disability, language, what do you do there? If you've got special interest groups, how do you treat them? And then, yeah, how you identify visitors with specific needs. Is that on time of booking or during the visit? Give us examples of that. The next part is describe how you measure customer satisfaction and identify areas of improvement. So measurable outcomes, it comes across again. Give us an example where you implemented a change based on customer feedback, and how did that benefit your business and your customers? How do you find out about how your customer feels about your product or service? What value do you put on that? Are you part of TripAdvisor? Do you social media? Maybe some people do mystery shopping. So it's all about those things that the judges want to know about. Could be something really small that you guys do, but it's major, and the judges want to know about it. So try to encapture everything that you do. Dot points. Just let us know. What processes do you have in place to respond to customer complaints? So if you get one, or have you got things in place to respond for that? So start off with how you receive your feedback, and give us an example of your procedures around response and what the outcome was. So we're on to the last question now. The last question, last but not least, sustainability. So we want to know all about how your business contributes to the local economy. Give us examples on this. We want to know about how your business financially contributes to the local economy. So when you're doing measurable outcomes, it's important to, so if you say sponsorship, put a dollar amount on there. If you do charitable donations, dollar amount. If you employ locally, try and put that in a dollar amount figure so it really stands out that that you're contributing that way. If you buy local produce, things like that, that all adds up. If you can put a dollar amount figure on that, then you're winning. The next question is demonstrate how your business engages and brings benefits to the local community. Again, this is really encompassing everything about how you are engaging in your local community. What I was talking about with, employing locally and being in part of, local tourism networks. Maybe you get local volunteer programs or students to help. That all would be great in this question. And to just say how that benefits your business would be great. Part C, describe how your business cares for the local environment. So this is where it's sustainability coming into environmental sustainability activities that you take part in or try to adhere to when you're in your business. So you think about, your water saving, energy, solar panels, reduce waste. How are you involved in that? Can you put figure amounts to all that stuff that you do? That's good measurement data process, and it shows the success of what you're doing with the environment. There's some examples there, carbon offset programs, your signage for your customers. If you're working with local communities and employing locals, there's all sorts of, recycling, all sorts of things there. And maybe you're part of the Eco Tourism Accreditation. So have a look at that. Maybe you could consider to detail if you encourage your guests to be sustainable while they stay with you. So, recycling towels or things like that, or walking maps, lighting, waste management plan. There'd be great photo opportunities there or testimonials. Consider how to explain how you promote your sustainability as well, and is that through newsletters or your database or sustainability awards? Maybe, like I said before about the tourism eco accreditation. So yeah, that's the questions in a nutshell. Thank you for bearing through all that, but again, this will be available on the nominees kit and you can go over it again at your own free time, and maybe it will sink in a bit more, and once you get your, some have nominated and some have not, so once you do nominate and you've got your category questions, it'll all make a bit more sense once you get into it. Just on that, does anyone have any questions about any of the parts? No? Of course, I'm available any other time. My business card is just over on the table on the way out. But yeah, just to go through the important dates again, nominations are due on the 30th of June. And then we go through site inspections, and then we have, before submissions close, we'll have a detailed awards info workshop where I'll get some specialists in each of the questions to come through and give you some hints and tips on that. And then the submissions close on the 24th of August. So that's when you hand up you pass in your submission online as a PDF document. It has to be PDF so that it's all secure. And yeah. There is the judging that happens from August to September, and then we have the dinner where the winners and medalists are announced. So there's also there's a winner in each category, but there's also the opportunity to be a medalist. So we've got gold, silver, bronze, and if you get to say 75%, between 75 and 79%, you'll get a bronze medal. If you get between 80% and 89%, you'll get a silver medal, and if you get 90% or higher, you'll get a gold medal, but if you're highest, you'll get the win. So yeah, there's something for everyone, and you get logos at the end that you can display on your website or in your marketing collateral and things like that, which is a real big coup for everyone that you can do that. I'm sure you saw that on Steve's presentation before. He's got his logos displayed, which, you know, people really look at and decide, you know, yeah, I'm going to go with the award win or medal rather than the other one. So it's worth having a go. And the Tourism Awards for the Nationals will be held in February next year. I'll leave it for here for now, but of course I'm always available on the phone or on email. Happy to catch up with you guys for coffee or anything like that if you just want to have a chinwag about everything and go into more detail about your specific category and where you might fit, and give you any hints and tips that I can as well. So yeah, it's a journey, but I think it's a good journey and something that you can really get out of, even just by going through the process. It'll be great for your business.